Monty Berga, and today I'm going to share a little witness today. So kind of like one moment in my life where God showed His grace or light through it all. So just a little background about myself. I'm a cradle Catholic, so my family always took the faith pretty seriously. And throughout my childhood, I kind of took it more or less seriously throughout life. But when I was 14, I kind of made it my own and started taking it more seriously. But when I was younger, I was really shy, and I really had trouble making friends with other people, and really just had a problem with self-confidence. So yeah, when I was younger, I was very shy. I had difficulty making friends, and when I would be in a social situation, it would be kind of uncomfortable for me. I definitely struggle with a lot of social anxiety, and I know particularly there was this one time that I knew that I was going to go somewhere with my siblings and we were going to be around a bunch of people, and I didn't want to go because I knew it was going to be uncomfortable for me. And my sister said, "What can I do to help you?" And one of the things that always made it uncomfortable for me is when someone would come up to talk to me. I always took a long time to articulate my thoughts. And so I would, I would pause, and they would look at me what is she going to say? And they would look at one of my siblings and they'd be like, "Oh, she's just shy, it's fine." And then they would walk away and be like, "Oh, that's funny." And then I'd be all alone for the rest of the evening, and it wasn't fun. So that day when she asked me, I told her, basically, that when she did that, it made me feel that way. And so my siblings, stopped doing that, and they stopped answering for me. And at that point, I really took the initiative to stick up for myself, and realized that I couldn't have other people answer for me, and that I needed to speak, Grace needed to talk for Grace and not, one of my siblings. But I still definitely struggled after that. And there were even points that I thought maybe it wasn't important, that, I'll be fine not having friends, or, being socially awkward the rest of my life, that'd be fine. But then there was definitely other times I was I can't achieve anything like that. There was definitely a fear of will I ever be able to go to college, or do anything, or get a job in the future. Those were definitely real concerns of mine. And particularly one evening, probably sometime between I don't know, it was probably my sophomore year of high school, when I realized that this is getting to be a problem, because I always thought maybe I'll grow out of it, I'll get into high school and things will get better, but things weren't. And I was basically the same as I was my social ability at 6 years old had not improved as a 15-year-old, and I'd really realized that was a problem. And that there was this one night we had someone over at my family's house for dinner, and I thought they were a pretty cool person. And I wanted to interact with them and show that I am a witty person. I am fun, because it's not I'm quiet all the time, right? If I was comfortable with a person, say at home, I was very goofy and could talk to them. But anyone else, or anyone new, or anyone I wasn't comfortable with, I didn't trust, I couldn't talk to. So having them over for dinner, I realized I wanted to show them who I was, but I didn't have the ability to do that, because I just didn't. And so I realized it is a problem. I need to do something about it. And that night I really just remember praying to Mary about it, and just crying myself to sleep with that idea of why is this like this, just kind of I was very angry at God in some ways, why would you make me like this? And that night I remember going to bed with the idea that Mary was soon, I'm gonna take care of it for you, just be patient. It was probably about a month later actually that I went on a net retreat in Bessemer, Michigan at St. Sebastian's Church. And when I was there we, if you haven't been to a net retreat before, part of it is that you break up into small groups. So it was me and maybe 5 other girls and one of the net leaders. And when we were all in our circle talking, none of us were really talkative, which is interesting because I know some of the girls now and they're very talkative, but that day they weren't, which is just how the Holy Spirit works. And so the net leader was asking questions and none of us were responding. And she just kind of stopped us for a minute, and she's like, "Guys, I used to be you, right?" She's like, "I can see that you guys aren't confident right now, and that's not okay. You can't just let that happen. You can't just bottle yourself up and not be confident." And she kind of said how on her own journey with confidence, that she put her confidence in other people, how other people liked her or not, whether or not, about what other people were thinking. And I realized that was kind of my own value in myself was what other people thought. And I would a lot of times assume that people thought negatively of me, or they didn't like me or whatever, so that's who I am, right? Like, that was my value. And so she said how she got out of that was realizing her worth from God, and how God looked at her. She's worth it. Like, the love of God, like, that's your value. Like, his opinion matters and no one else does. And I think from that day on, I was like, wow, that's deep. But I was like, am I really going to make this like change me? And I was like, no, Grace, you need to take this seriously. So from that day on, it started out as a belief, like, yeah, the Father does love me, and like, that's my identity. But I had to go further, and it wasn't just a belief, but like, that belief had to go into a choice in choosing to believe that. So when I was with other people, which is when it was particularly hard for me to believe that I had any value, that was when I needed to reinforce it and be like, you are valued just as much as anyone else in the room right now. And it was probably a month after that net retreat too. It was a particularly hard time for me to believe that, was when I went on the March for Life. So January 2017, I went on this bus with a bunch of people, probably like, 30, 40, 50 people. So it was like around a bunch of like amazing Catholics, and realizing like, these are all cool people. So it's just hard to value yourself in a big group like that. And I was like, I have to keep on believing this, and those people around me really, like, even though I was tempted to think like that maybe, they're not good people, or like that they're judging me or whatever, like, they showed me that week how much that they love me. We were crossing the street, they were all looking out for me. Like, if I wasn't in the group, they knew it. Like, everyone looked out for me. They didn't even know me, and I probably like haven't even seen some of these people since, and they showed me love. And there was one girl on that bus in particular. She was my sister's best friend. She really took the time to get to know me, and that was really weird for me, because I wouldn't respond back necessarily, or try to get to know her back, or be nice back. But she was persistent in talking to me, and that was really weird for me, because no one has ever done that to me before. And I thought there must be something that she's trying to get from me, and I realized there's nothing that she could have gotten from me, and that it was like purely just out of love. And that really just changed my life from that, And there were people on that bus that I am just still like, they're among my best friends today, and I still talk to them. And it was from those friendships that I was able to meet other people, and just gain a real sense of self-confidence, and that I'm loved, and really just put to death those lies that maybe I'm not cared about. Because I know one of the things that I definitely ate into when I was younger was, if I were to just say pass away, like die in a car accident or something, like, no one would miss me, right? Which is not true at all. Like, my family would be completely heartbroken, and there would be people who barely knew me who would be heartbroken at hearing that. And so yeah, just looking back on that, realizing like all the things I ate into. So yeah, I just had a new sense of confidence after that, and people really saw a difference in me. Even my family definitely did. My dad calls me a social butterfly, which is crazy, because I definitely wasn't that before. And yeah, I just have a sense that I can achieve what I want, if that's God's will. Like, I go to college now, like, I have friends at college, and it was difficult, but it worked, So really just, yeah, God can do anything for you. So yeah, that's my story. God bless. I love you.